So in this last part, we'll talk about in the laboratory setup, we'll talk about the maintenance of the aseptic condition. And continuously I am talking about, in the last sessions I am talking about these aseptic conditions. So these aseptic conditions are very important in the tissue culture. As I have mentioned in the earlier lecture, last lecture, if you remember, I have talked about that Aberland realized the importance of the aseptic condition, that is the asepsis. So he realized that microorganisms are going to compete with our plant material, and because of that we need to maintain the aseptic condition, and he did that. So he maintained aseptic condition. He tried to grow under such aseptic conditions. On the knobs media, he tried to culture the plant cells, and he was successful to maintain them for several days. So that was the big achievement. So see the importance of the aseptic conditions, because whatever the plant material we are going to use, it may be grown under the control condition, under sterile condition, or it may be from the environment. It is not possible all the time that we are going to get the plant material from the grown under the control condition. It is not possible. So it may carry different type of the what we say the contaminants, like fungal spores or fungal fragments or bacterial spores, and that will spoil. If it will be it will come along with that plant material, it will start to grow on that what we say the media, and as a result of that, what will happen, instead of the microorganisms will compete with our plant material, and instead of growing whatever our aim is that to grow the plant material, so instead of that what we say the microorganisms will start to grow, and they will deteriorate our what we say the culture. So that is the issue, and because of that we need to maintain the aseptic condition. So it is the only way from where the microorganisms will come? No. So there is another way how the microorganisms come to our laboratory or to our culture. So we'll talk about all these things in this maintenance of the aseptic condition. So as already I have mentioned about the maintenance of the aseptic condition. So we need to maintain our aseptic conditions because microorganisms are going to compete with the plant for the media, and they will grow in a large amount, or they will occupy all the area, and as a result of that, so they will grow. So our aim is to grow our plant material, and for that purpose we need to maintain the aseptic condition. So how we are going to maintain that? So we are going to do by maintaining the sterile environment. We are going to provide the sterile environment to what we say the in vitro conditions. So while maintaining these sterile conditions, so how we are going to maintain these aseptic conditions? So by doing several different ways. For example, when we are going to talk about the our sterilization, so we need to remember that from where we are going to start. For example, we are going to make a laboratory, or we are going to prepare the laboratory. So when we are going to prepare our laboratory, so laboratory environment whatever is there, we need to maintain that what we say the free from microorganisms. So it is impossible to make the laboratory from the microorganisms, but we can decrease the population of that microorganisms or their spores in that laboratory. So many more facilities we can make available there in this laboratory, or at the entrance we should blow the air with force, so that whoever is coming or whoever is entering to the laboratory, so if there are any kind of the microorganisms or their spores or their fragments, so they will be blown away. So this kind of the facility must be there. Or sterilization of the media and glassware we can do there. So what we can do, we can take the glasswares, we can do the sterilization of that glasswares by two ways. We can go for the hot dry heat sterilization. So we can put the glasswares at a higher temperature for long time or short time depending upon the necessity. So you can maintain, or you can put the glasswares in the hot air oven, and for that purpose also you can use that, not only for the drying but to kill or to remove the what we say the microorganisms or the contaminants. We can use that dry heat sterilization, which is achieved by means of the hot air oven. likewise, you can go for the sterilization of the media by autoclaving. So autoclave is a moist heat method of the moist heat sterilization, where what you can do, you can take the you can take the media and you can put it into the autoclave, where you are going to heat the water with the help of the coil, electric coil, and so that there will be steam will be produced, and this is arrested there in that cabinet. So as a result of that, what is going to happen? So the pressure is going to be increased, and generally we know that water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, but because of the increased pressure, the water will the temperature will reach up to 121 degrees Celsius, and likewise the pressure is going to be increased up to 15 lbs. So that is what we say the pounds. So which will result into the destroy of the all different type of the spores, of the microorganisms, of the bacteria, or of the what we say the fungi. So likewise, we are going to achieve our goal, destruction, or we are going to destroy that microorganisms from our media, because we are going to add many more compounds together, and because of that the chance of the contamination is there. Even in this air also, many more different type of the microorganisms may be present in the form of the spores or the fragments. So we need to do so. So this sterilization, what we say the autoclave, that is a moist heat sterilization, is very important. Then we are going to use the aseptic cabinet, which is maintained there in the aseptic manipulation area or transfer area. Here we are going to use that specific cabinet. So what we say the laminar air flows. So these laminar air flows are the simply cabinets which are supplied with the filtered air. So air is passed with pressure through the filters known as the HEPA filters. HEPA means high efficiency particulate air. High HEPA, high efficiency particulate air, HEPA. So such a type of the filters are there. So their pore size is very small, 0.3 micron is the size, so that the microorganisms whatever are there present in the air, so will pass through that filter, and so they will be not able to penetrate that. So the air will be free from, when the air is passed, so that will be free from, it is passed through the HEPA filter, so it will be free from what we say the microorganisms. And because of that, under such a sterile environment, you will be able to do your work. During that time, you need to do one more thing. So whatever the surface is there, that can be sterilized, or then that can be sterilized by what we say the wiping with ethanol, or many other different type of the solutions which are used generally for the surface sterilization. So you can wipe that surface area with the such a type of the chemicals, like 70% ethanol is generally used for this purpose. Likewise, before using that LAF, remember that you need to start that LAF at least 15 minutes before. So particularly you need to start UV light which is present there in this laminar air flow. So that will be used to make the sterile that surface area. Remember that you are not allowed to put any kind of the living material which is used for the tissue culture purpose when you are going to start that what we say the UV light. So this is a very important thing regarding that particular what we say the with that the cabinet, or what we say the aseptic cabinet, or that aseptic manipulation room. Then the next thing is that you need to sterilize your explant, because you have carried the explant, maybe you might have grown it under the control condition, but all the time it is not possible. So you need to make it sterile. So there is a particular way how you are going to make it sterile. So you need to wash with the tap water for adequate time. So it depends on what type of the plant material you are going to use. Then you need to wash with the tap water. After that, you need to use the laboratory grade detergent, and you need to wash it with that also. Then you are going to transfer that material to the another bottle, and in which you are going to add the what we say the chemical sterilants like sodium hypochlorite, or like ethanol, or like bromine water, or hydrogen peroxide. So appropriate concentration, or mercury chloride. So appropriate concentration of this what we say the sterilants may be used, because sterilant means what? It is a toxic material, and that we are going to treat to the plant material, and because of that it may be possible the plant may die. And to avoid that, you need to decide, or you need to take decision So what concentration you should use for the sterilization purpose? For example, in case of the seeds, you may increase the time and concentration, no issue, because it is having hard seed coat, but delicate materials cannot tolerate such a type of the conditions. So, and after that we need to move towards the what we say the culture room, and the environment from this culture room should be sterilized by means of the fumigation. Generally formaldehyde, what we say the chemical which is available there in the laboratory, that can be used, their fumes or its fumes can be used for the sterilization of the this culture room. So by this way, we are going to maintain the aseptic conditions in our plant tissue culture laboratory. So all these things what I have talked about the setup of the plant tissue culture laboratory are very important, and maintenance of these aseptic conditions within this structural area is also very important.